Hello, ladies. This is your midsummer anchor update check-in time. Just checking in to see how y'all are all doing in the midst of COVID. How's it going for you? If you're like me, I've gone through, it's like the stages of grief. I feel like I've gone through many stages of COVID. Anger, frustration, anxiety, fear, overwhelmed, many different feelings. But now I'm a place, the best I can describe the place I'm in. I remember when I was a little girl in the summers, I would go to North Carolina and stay with my aunt and uncle and my cousins in their house on the beach for weeks at a time and just live on the beach and in the ocean. And when the first time I ever went, though, we went out there to play in the ocean, to play in the waves. And if you know, the Atlantic Ocean is a little different than the Gulf. And the waves are much bigger and stronger. And I went charging into those waves and just hitting them head on like I always did. And did that a couple of times, and I was only 3 or 4 minutes into it. I came out exhausted and thought, I can't do this. And my aunt took me and said, no, come back out here. Let me show you how to do these waves. And she showed me how to just float on the water and to let it take me up and down and just enjoy the ride of the waves and the big high highs and then the drop to the low, low, low. And it was so much more enjoyable. And I could be out there for hours enjoying it. And I think of that picture so often is how I do life with the Lord. And when He brings new things in my life that I hadn't planned on, that I hadn't asked for, I tend to always go straight at Him head on and just take Him on and charge in. And it just wears me out and beats me up. And it's not until I finally will relax, float on the waves of what the Lord has planned for me and let Him take me on the ups and the downs, that life is really the best with Him. And so I feel like as I've gone through my stages of COVID, I'll call them, I'm now in my just relaxing on the waves and letting the Lord take me up and down. And as I've done that, it has been such a precious time with the Lord. And I've been reading through the Word in our Bible in 1 year, and I hope y'all have too. And I know right now, if you're unfamiliar with it, in the Old Testament, you're reading the prophets, Amos and Hosea, and that can be kind of hard reading. But then also you're reading Romans in the New Testament, where you're getting so much of our basic theology of our faith. But even in the midst of this, God's Word, He always has a sweet, sweet message for us. And so in Hosea, even though it's not the easiest chapter or book to read in the Bible, it's got some great verses that I love. And one of them I was so glad to get to read again the other day. It's Hosea 2:14. It says, "Therefore, behold, I will allure her, bring her into the wilderness, and speak kindly to her." And I'm taking it a bit out of context. He's talking about the restoration of Israel, but I've always loved that verse to think when the Lord does have me in a wilderness, and it feels like that's where I am, that He's brought me out there to speak kindly to me. So as I've rested on the waves of God's plan and really started resting in what He's doing in my life, He has been speaking so sweetly to me and just telling me that He wants to remind me that He's my first love, and He wants me to live that out again. And so He's taken so many things away, not to be against me, but to give me a chance to come back to Him 100% and Him be my first love. And I've just had the sweetest times with Him in the Word, just rekindling that intimacy with Him. And I pray you're doing the same thing. Keep reading through His Word, because that intimacy, that speaking kindly that He wants to do to you, the Word, His Word is one of the predominant ways He speaks to you. So keep reading through His Word and letting Him speak kindly to you and minister to you in all you need. And I'll keep praying for you, and I'll keep checking in again with you soon. Love you, girls. Keep reading that Bible.